Once a potential juror reports for service, a series of steps at the local courthouse will determine whether that potential juror actually serves in a trial.
You arrive at the jury room and you're part of this jury pool. And what the judge and the lawyers on the case are trying to do is determine who actually is going to serve on the particular jury. And in deciding that, they go through a process called voir dire.
Voir dire is the formal name for the process where the court selects the number of jurors needed for trial. That means that some potential jurors will not be chosen to serve for that particular trial. They'll be dismissed or challenged.
Basically, there are two types of challenges: peremptory challenges and challenges for cause.
Each side gets a certain number of peremptory challenges which allow that side to dismiss a potential juror without explanation, though the Supreme Court has said jurors cannot be dismissed because of race, ethnicity, or gender. A challenge for cause must be explained, and usually follows a question and answer session that has been described as both intense and tedious.
Voir dire is a process by which the judge and the defense counsel and the prosecutor ask questions of proposed jurors to find out whether they believe they could be really fair.
You might be biased. Maybe you have a relation in the case, you work for a company that's at issue in the case. And a lot of times lawyers eliminate people. They just have a gut instinct that this is not the person that they want to have deciding their particular case.
Throughout voir dire, it's best to be patient, honest, and not to take things too personally.
Somebody just picks you off and bumps you off the jury because they think you can't be fair. That hurts. It hurt me. It hurt me.
The most important thing for anyone walking into a jury room to understand is that not every person is right for every case. We all have different life experiences.
Raise your right hands and be sworn.
Once the jury has been formed, the jurors will be given instructions regarding how the trial will proceed.
One of the initial things that will happen for everybody who goes to serve on juries is some form of orientation, where court officials meet with jurors and provide, usually in a group setting, some idea about what they're going to expect, or what they can expect over the day or week, or perhaps even longer, that they are going to be serving on the jury.
During orientation, jurors will find out about details such as whether or not they can take notes during a trial, or if they're going to be sequestered, kept away from family and friends during deliberations and put up in a hotel until a verdict is reached.
Before the trial begins, it's either the attorneys or the judge may determine that sequestration of the jury would be ideal, but it's very rare.
In most states, the first order of business is to elect one of the jurors as the foreperson or presiding juror. This person's role is to preside over discussions and votes of the jurors, and often to deliver the verdict. It varies from state to state on how a presiding juror or foreperson is selected. In some jurisdictions, it's simply juror number one. Many others allow the jury to pick its leader, but regardless of whom that may be,
Absolutely everybody's opinion is equal in the jury. Whether it's the foreperson or any other person, everybody's opinion is equal. Nobody's opinion is entitled to more weight than anybody else's.
jurors are not allowed to discuss the details of the trial with each other while the trial is in progress. This prevents lobbying jurors to one point of view, spreading rumors or false information, or influencing jurors one way or another. Discussions are reserved for the deliberation phase of the trial. This is the part of the process where the jury gets to discuss the evidence and arguments presented during the trial.
There are really two parts to any jury deliberation. One is what is the law, and two, what are the facts. The jury's role is really only to determine the facts.
If all goes well and the jury functions as it should, they deliberate in such a way as to encourage all those diverse voices on the jury to contribute to the final outcome of the case.
Our jurors are the unsung heroes of our entire criminal justice process. They have the hardest job. They have to determine what's true. Do I believe this person? Does that story make sense? Because it is that job which falls to the juror, and it's a hard one.
The foreperson or presiding juror usually delivers the verdict, and occasionally, after the verdict has been announced, one of the attorneys may ask to have the jury polled. That is, each juror may be asked to say how he or she decided the